Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into something that might ruffle a few feathers: popular psychology myths. That sound legit, but are basically made-up nonsense. You've probably heard these in self-help books, TED Talks, or even from your therapist. But here's the thing, a lot of them have zero scientific backing. We're talking about things like we only use 10% of our brains, left brain versus right brain people, and trauma is stored in your body like a muscle memory. Some of these ideas are so widespread that even professionals repeat them. But today, we're separating fact from fiction with real psychology research. Asterisk. Before we start, smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, and let me know in the comments what's one psychology fact you've heard that turned out to be complete BS. Myth number 1. We only use 10% of our brains. This one's a classic. You've probably heard that humans only use 10% of their brains, and if we could unlock the rest, we'd have superhuman intelligence or psychic powers. Sounds cool, right? Too bad it's 100% false. Neuroscience shows that we use virtually every part of our brain, just not all at once. Different regions handle different tasks: vision, movement, memory, emotion, and even simple activities like drinking coffee light up multiple areas. If 90% of your brain was inactive, brain damage wouldn't be such a big deal, but we know it is. So, where did this myth come from? Some trace it back to misinterpreted quotes from psychologists like William James, who talked about untapped potential, not unused brain matter. Others blame early self-help gurus who wanted to sell Unlock Your Genius courses. Myth number 2. Left brain versus right brain personality types. Are you a logical, analytical left brain person or a creative, artistic right brain thinker? If you've ever taken a quiz that told you this, I hate to break it to you, it's nonsense. Yes, certain brain functions are lateralized. Language is mostly left. Spatial awareness is more right, but no one is purely left-brained or right-brained. fMRI studies show that complex tasks use both hemispheres, and personality isn't dictated by one side. This myth got popular from oversimplified interpretations of split-brain studies, where the corpus callosum is severed. While those studies showed hemispheres can work independently, they don't support the idea of dominant brain personalities. So next time someone says, "I'm right-brained, that's why I'm bad at math," tell them, no, you're just bad at math. Myth number 3. Trauma is stored in your body like muscle memory. This one's controversial. The idea that trauma is stored in your body like in your hips or your spine sounds profound. But is it science or pseudoscience? While trauma does affect the body, the claim that memories are physically trapped in tissues is unproven. There's no mechanism for cells to store emotional memories. The real link is psychological. Trauma changes how the brain processes stress and fear. Some therapies, like somatic experiencing, claim to release trapped trauma through bodywork. But studies on these methods are mixed, and critics argue they're rebranded Freudian ideas without solid evidence. Does this mean body-based therapies are useless? Not necessarily. Relaxation techniques help some people, but the trauma in your tissues idea, that's more metaphor than fact. Myth number 4. The 5 stages of grief are universal: denial, anger, bargaining, depression. Acceptance. Sound familiar? The 5 stages of grief are everywhere. But here's the truth, they were never meant to be a rigid formula. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross developed this model based on interviews with dying patients, not bereaved families. Even she said grief isn't linear, yet pop culture turned it into a checklist. Modern research shows grief is messy. Some people skip stages, others loop back, and cultural differences play a huge role. The idea that everyone must go through all 5 stages, that's more harmful than helpful. Myth number 5. Power poses boost confidence. Remember when Amy Cuddy's TED Talk went viral? The idea that standing like Superman for 2 minutes boosts confidence and testosterone? Yeah, that didn't hold up. Initial studies had tiny samples and questionable methods. Later, larger studies found no significant effect. Even Cuddy walked back her claims, but the myth stuck, because it feels true. Does posture affect mood? A little. But if power poses worked as advertised, job interviews would just be a room full of people doing the Wonder Woman stance. Myth number 6. Positive thinking cures illness. This one's dangerous. The idea that staying positive can cure diseases like cancer isn't just false, it's cruel. Stress can impact health, but no amount of visualization stops tumors. Studies show no link between positive thinking and cancer survival rates, yet this myth persists, making patients feel guilty for not trying hard enough. Spoiler: illness isn't a moral failing. So why do these myths stick around? Because they're simple, marketable, and often comforting. But real psychology is messy, nuanced, and evidence-based, not a list of life hacks. What psychology myth surprised you the most? Let me know below. And if you like this deep dive, check out my video on why most diet advice is wrong. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.